Hey, it's John Gafford. If you want to catch up more and see what we're doing, you can always go to thejohngafford.com, where we'll share any links that things we talked about on the show, as well as links to the YouTube where you can watch us live. And if you want to catch up with me on Instagram, you can always follow me at thejohngafford. I'm here. Give me a shout. Back from the break for part 2 of today's episode. Our back from sabbatical. But I guess we're going to say what it is, whatever it was. Warm-up episode. Back from that. Honestly, if you're still listening after the Colt Couch episode, personally, thank you very much. Yeah, we did this. Connell told me when he walked in today, he goes, man, I tried to watch it. But when he started talking about, when he started reading texts off his phone, it was hard. It was hard.
Did we leave people 2 weeks with that?
I think we did. So here's the funny part. Here's the funny part is, so the funny part is after that, and nothing shows up for 2 weeks, and now all of their podcast apps went bloop, and they look at it, they're like, oh my God! Am I going down this hole again? So allow us to regain trust with this episode, which is great. But I'll tell you what, I got it. So this big event is here in Vegas this weekend on Friday.
What's it called, John?
It is called the Clever Summit. I'm actually going to put this out. We're done. I'm probably going to put this out today, just because this is your last chance today to actually buy tickets. So you can't buy in-person tickets anymore. They sold out in like 2 seconds. Wow. There's 500 people trying to get in-person tickets on a waiting list. They're all, no way. The virtual tickets are now over like 5,000 sold. So this is going to be like 7,500 people at this event. It's pretty dope. Awesome. And I happen to be speaking there, which is really, really cool. And today's your last chance to get virtual tickets. So check that out. You might want to look, if you want to audit in, look at the people there. It's going to be an amazing event. It's this weekend. But I got an interesting DM that I thought was interesting, which was this. And it was somebody sent me a DM, and it was a local agent here in Vegas that said, man, I wish you were still doing local stuff. I wish you weren't just talking at these national things, because I miss seeing you talk about local real estate stuff. And, you should do that again, is essentially the message I got. And my response was, that ain't my fault. Like, here's the thing you got to understand. Years ago, and again, a big part of this company, Simply Vegas that we're at, was built because of these things. But all of the different title companies and mortgage companies would invite me to talk at their events. They would do that. And almost all of those events, as realtor events, are hosted, sponsored, put on, brought by title and mortgage companies. They almost all are. We are now, since I was doing those events, we are obviously knee-deep in the title and mortgage business. We own both title businesses and we own mortgage businesses. So, I don't blame those companies for not inviting me to talk to their crowds, because it would essentially be like me inviting a competitor to come and talk to my people. And so I get that.
You probably would, though.
What? Go talk to them?
Well, you would. So that's the one thing I never understood about people's perspectives in business, right? I know some attorneys that won't add me on Facebook, and I'm not just talking about Nick Dosa. I mean other attorneys.
Nick, please, for the love of God, I got to hear about this. And for those who don't know, Nick Dosa owns Vegas Auto Gallery, friend to everyone except for Chris Connell. Great guy.
Anyway,
who actually told me, because he's working on the Maz right now, he told me I can come down there and get whatever I want.
Why have you not done that yet? But regardless.
Well, because I don't know how long it's going to take the Maz to get fixed. But I'm going to go down there. I'm going to go down there tomorrow. I think if it's not done,
we're going after this podcast.
I'm going to grab something. I'm going to grab something tomorrow. I think. Anyway.
No, I totally forget what I was saying. But
you were talking about other attorneys won't add you because they're scared.
You shouldn't. If you're ever afraid of someone coming and taking your business, they could have taken it anyway, right? It doesn't matter. I really believe that. Like if you got somebody here, if you got Ivan Shearer to come and do a talk,
which Ivan would,
Simply Vegas,
yeah.
Do you feel
which we have?
Are you so protectionist? You think, oh my God, my agents are going to run over there, or do people go, oh no, I just see that as someone else doing something in town?
Well,
you know what I mean. Like if you water your own backyard, right? That includes getting others' perspectives.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the things I posted this week, because again I got blown up about somebody talking smack about me, and I didn't see it because I don't follow that person, but. My response, I let it simmer for a couple of days, and my response was this: is if you can't tout an accomplishment, if you have to try to tear somebody else's accomplishments down in order to make yours look bigger, then you're not a leader. You're a hater, successful. Right? Like you want to be like
you attack.
I try to surround myself in my golden years, as I'm calling them now, with people that want to see me win.
Right.
because everybody that's around me, even if they own a competitive business, I want to see them win.
Sure.
I mean, there's never going to be a time where there's going to be one title company and one real estate company and one mortgage company. If you own a mortgage company, I want to see you win. If you own a title company, I want to see you win. You own a brokerage, I want to see you win.
Of course.
You know, you do something great. I'm not jealous of what you did. I don't hate on what you did. For example, Brandon Roberts, who I consider a friend of mine, owns Signature Real Estate here in Las Vegas, put an ad out, and I appreciate quirky, good advertising. And he put an ad up for Easter that had peeps, and it just said Signature Real Estate, great peeps.
That's cool.
And I was like, and I hit right in the comments, man. Oh, that's awesome. Right on Facebook, because I thought it was clever. I'm going to give you some compliments. I'm not worried my agents are going to see the peep ad and run out of here and go to him.
Because how shitty is your business?
Yeah, that's like, right. But if I see something clever and good, I'm going to call spade a spade. It's awesome. That's good. Sure. Anyway, but here's the goocher. Here's the goocher. This is the goocher. This is it. This
Four tails?
Yes, this is. Let's have a hypothetical conversation without nailing down specifics on the air.
Goocher.
All right, I'm gonna run this down. You ready? Let's say there's a business model, and half of the business model services independent companies that sell this widget. We'll call it a widget.
Okay.
All right, and then the other half of that business model services brick and mortar stores owned by a widget company that sell widgets right out of the widget store.
Totally understand.
All right, got it? Mm-hmm. Now, let's say that one of the people that opens their own independent widget store that sells widgets starts kicking the ass of the brick and mortar widget stores, right? So all of a sudden, the widget store decides to try to impede the business of the agency by saying, hey, we're going to let you keep selling out of your one widget store, but you can't open any more widget stores. We're not going to let you sell widgets out of any of those. Essentially, one of my widget partners on Friday tried to pull the rug out from underneath me because we're selling a lot of widgets.
So that's an interesting thing, but that is actually, I think, illegal.
I think it is
in a lot of ways. Now you're not obviously compelled to have to do business with certain people,
right?
But if you make it like there's certain conditional things.
Well, right? I'm sorry. Let's say that this particular widget company sells widgets all over the United States, right? All over the United States, and they allow independent widget shops to sell widgets in every 50 states. And there's one state where they are stopping to let independent widget companies operate, and it's this one.
So there is something about anti-competition, right? And there is something with intentional interference with business relations that is a tort in Nevada. Yeah. Intentional interference with. So when you are I mean, that seems very short-sighted.
You think?
And it does seem possibly actionable.
You
I'd
think?
have to obviously have details.
Well, I'm trying to get a meeting with the president of the widget company who made this decision. Because obviously the person that we deal with in the widget department, it's in their best interest that we sell as many widgets as we can.
Sure.
So it's their boss that made this widget decision, because I'm thinking that some people that work at the brick and mortar widget store are feeling the heat a little bit.
Yeah, but there is an issue with price fixing, or there's an issue with,
competition. Supposed to be,
but a lot of times you will get those companies that see it in their best interest to not do that. So
sure, but the good news is there's a lot of companies that sell widgets.
This is about.
It's not hard for me to find another widget supplier. It's not hard to do it.
John, you can just say the company, because there's a lot of companies that will sell you 6 Cadillac margaritas that aren't Chili's.
Not you, Chili's. Look, I'm not going to be. I will never name the name of a company and complain about it. But you, Chili's, I will. You sold me 6 Cadillac margaritas. You tow my car, Chili's, for trying to be responsible, and still no response. Still no response.
I was right next to that Chili's.
Ridiculous.
I forgot.
Yeah,
should have gone up there.
Anyway,
were you not?
I was last week. I was seriously maybe a half a mile.
Colt, next time you go to Utah, we're going to do a live remote from this for the podcast where you interview the manager of Chili's about their towing procedures.
John, I actually want to hear what you have to say about that next thing you were talking about.
Which thing is that?
About singing.
Singing. Oh, yeah. Well, we're almost there.
Okay,
we're almost there. Okay. We're almost there. Because I'm complaining about stuff.
I don't want to derail you.
No. If I'm going to complain, I got one more. My whole house, and again, here comes another Star Wars reference that Colt won't understand. My whole house this weekend went down like the Death Star. Just like that. Why? Because my home automation company that I have 92 switches and devices programmed through their hub, decided to go out of business and just turn their servers off. It didn't tell anybody it was coming. Nothing.
Wow.
Yeah. And so all of a sudden I'm like,
they didn't get bought out or anything. Huh?
They got it's Insteon. They got bought by Nokia, and Nokia is going to move, I guess, people over there to whatever they're doing. But they just literally
Death Star you up.
Shut everything down.
So your force field
went
down?
Yeah. So now
your house is penetrable.
Well, it's not. Well, no. The alarm, thank God, is still functions. No, everything still functions, but it doesn't work together. And now it's it's like I have a lot of switches that like for example, like you look at my kitchen, all of the cans over here are on one switch, all of the cans over here on the switch, all of the lights underneath the cabinets are on one switch, the chandeliers are on one switch. So before, because it was programmed, I could push one thing and they would all come on. Now, if I want them on, I have to go to each switch and turn them all on. So I spent.
Welcome to the poor side.
Yeah, I know, shut your mouth, Colt. I spent the weekend investing, trying to figure a solution for this. I've got something that came today. I'm praying to God it works, but I'll be spending all of next weekend, not this weekend because I have that event, but the following weekend reprogramming my house because you got to do it one switch at a time apparently. So hopefully it's going to work. Wow. But dude, I could not believe that this company just. I mean, nuts. I mean, you think you would like open source a solution, like, yeah, I mean, open source a solution, do something. If you know you're going to business, you're going to shut down. It would cost.
What does it matter?
It would cost. Yeah.
You think it's their issue or the people that bottom's issue?
Well, I mean, at the same time,
you take on the liabilities of your prior.
But where's the where's the moral responsibility for the people in management that are?
Do you think that extends to moral responsibility?
I think it does. I think if you took money in exchange for a product or service, I think people think there's this imaginary line where you just become a big corporation, it becomes okay. I don't believe that. If I take money from you to provide you with a service and I disappear, I'm a scumbag and you ruin my reputation around town.
Yeah, a lot of people.
If Nokia does it, it's just, well, it was a corporate buyout and it was just
a lot of creditors in bankruptcy court feel the exact same way.
Exactly right. So I guess the moral of the story with that is if you were going to go out on a limb and shut your business down, give your customers a heads up. I mean, make sure there's a solution in place. Try to transition.
That's good corporate governance and responsibility. But here's the thing: when you're going out of business, what do you care?
Yeah, I get it.
So by the way, just
I don't get it.
Just as a point, by the way, when someone does file a bankruptcy, there's a thing called the 341 hearing. Mm-hmm. And a 341 hearing, all creditors get to come to the room where the trustee is with this person and ask them whatever questions you want.
Oh boy!
If you've never seen one of these things, I've seen some things personally in a 341 hearing that would blow your mind.
Just absolutely just blazing people.
Like blazing people. So why didn't you give me my money that you've stolen? Like all these things, right?
Boy.
But I had one situation where this guy goes, well, I had to pay my staff with your money because it's like you have to pay people to come to work, right?
Yeah.
Because that was our money, right? It's like, yeah, but you got paid to be here, so why shouldn't my staff have gotten paid with your money?
Yeah, some odd justifications probably happen in those things. But I saw this. I do want to talk about this today before we get into talking about some of Kiyosaki's philosophies for the weekend. But I saw this and I thought it was interesting, which was the airplane Jesus. That's what I'm calling it. It was a thing that I guess there was a bunch of church kids or group or whatever it was, jumped up on an airplane and started singing and playing guitars and singing hymnals. And I know that, what's her name? Talib, the representative from Michigan.
Oh, yeah.
What's her name? Whatever her name is. Anyway,
she's part of.
Use the Google machine if you're at home. You'll figure it out. Anyway, she's Muslim, and she said, "Oh, I guess me and my family should have a prayer, prayer meeting on the plane. Let's see how that goes over." Right. So here's my thing. All right. Now, obviously,
she's absolutely correct. By the way,
I agree. Yes. I agree. My thing is, if I'm on a plane, like I can't listen to my phone without headphones. How are you going to get up and do a jig? I don't care. Let's do no matter what it is. But this problem, I don't think we need to debate that. Is there any debate here that's just lunacy? No matter what people are doing that are interrupting you.
It's always lunacy if what you are listening to ever, or your kids, is audible to the next family over.
Okay, got it.
Okay, how people walk around with their phone on speaker.
Got it. Okay, got it. So we're in complete agreement that it doesn't matter. Now, are we also in agreement there's probably a line somewhere where you're like, oh my God, Mick Jagger just grabbed the damn speaker thing from the flight attendant and he's giving us a little give me shelter up there with,
Might be annoyed by that.
Yeah.
I might be annoyed by it.
No, but how famous do you got to be where it's okay to get up on the plane and do something? Because
I don't think
remember,
there's anybody out
here's
there.
the thing. Like, I remember a long time ago, my buddies in Beth and Ezra, I remember seeing, but they were, where Kevin was on there playing guitar and singing, they were singing good to the passengers. I remember that. And they seemed to like it. But some people might not know who they are. So how famous do you got to be where it's okay for everybody?
Probably Ezra would be on the other side of that line, which is good.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you don't know that song, really? You
Yeah,
don't know that
Kevin
song?
is good.
So I think there would be 50% plus one. I think you have to go by consensus.
All right.
With 50% plus one,
Okay.
enjoy this experience. And how long and how, if
A solid 1 minute is all you got.
couple minutes, you're singing.
1 minute, you're good.
And then people go, what the hell was that? Add a little flavor to people's lives. I'm all for that.
Okay.
Add a little fear and danger in there, right?
Yeah.
Get up and start yelling like really harsh verses from the Quran. I think that's also...
Dude. Okay. Well, no. Can I tell you, that was one of the scariest moments of my life. Me and Gidget went to Europe, and this was call it 16 years ago. So that would have made it what, 2004, I guess we're going to call it. Yeah. No, we'll call it 2006. All right. We'll call it 2006. We went to Europe, and we were in London on the tube, and there had been a bombing on the tube like 2 weeks before we got there.
Yeah.
We get off, we're on Gloucester Station, we get on the tube, and there's a dude, a solo guy on the tube with us that does exactly that. And I got to tell you, it was terrifying because you're like, this guy, and obviously he's just a dude that was touched. I mean, just happened to be, like some guys walk around, how much to themselves about nothing.
Goddamn alligator brains.
Exactly. This dude just happened to actually be reciting something in Arabic very loud. And dude, you've never seen people run off a train faster than that.
My poor wife, I did take her to Morocco one time, and it's about dark. It's getting dark. I don't know what time it is, 5, 6, 7, dinner time. All of a sudden, the findom on the mosque at the end of the road in Morocco starts yelling out the call to prayer.
Yeah.
Now, if you've never heard it, it's disconcerting because we only get the influences from media, right?
Sure.
That typically is followed by something blowing up, right? In our media.
Sure.
That's how it's presented.
Movies.
Meanwhile, it's
Well,
to them, it's like
let me back up
town
before I get
square chiming.
Let me back up before I get labeled as something with this.
No. Yeah.
When I see a lone guy that starts screaming anything,
Sure. Oh,
okay, that was 50% of the experience.
Totally.
The fact
Right.
So let's be very clear. It's not like
No.
I'm not being the next door of podcast. Like, oh my God, did you see this weird man in the neighborhood? I was terrified of him. That's not what I'm trying to. No, this was legit.
But here's the thing. This is why travel is so important because if you've never seen that, you're not going to understand.
Yeah.
But then when you go see it, you go, oh, I get it. So myself,
thing,
I've been to half a dozen Muslim countries. Now I just go, oh, it must be 5 p.m. It's just like a town square chime going off, right? That's the value of experience because it's less scary when you have context.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was
no.
anybody on a tube screaming about.
But again,
literally anything.
A little scary. But again, that comes back to confirmation bias. You look for things to justify your opinion, which I feel like everything I ever post on social media from now on, I want to include like confirmation bias. People need to learn this because there's way too many people on both sides of any issue that devoutly believe what comes out of someone's mouth.
Sure.
And you can look on social media, and it's so funny. Even some people that I know, man, you'll see like one of the top guru guys come on and rant about something, and within 10 minutes, I'll see somebody else that I know rant the same shit because they heard this person say it and they said, "Oh, I need to go rant that same shit."
Absolutely.
And it's nonsense. And I think, being able to look at, in any type of information, especially if it's something you're gonna repeat or put out there, you got to look for that counterpoint. I mean, the question, like, where do you get your news? Here's a question: where do you get your news, Cole?
I think I get them from a couple sources. I don't subscribe to the Wall Street Journal anymore.
Okay.
Because I just found that slogging through it wasn't terribly organic.
It's cumbersome.
I do probably find it most through social media.
Online, where do you get your news? Online.
Twitter.
A little bit of Twitter.
We can talk about that. Jesus Christ.
I'll follow the AP. I'll follow
AP, BBC.
But here's the thing. I have my same routine, which is this. Just because not only do I want to try to figure out what's going on, but I also want to figure out what's going on in the minds of people I'm probably going to have to talk to or interact with at some point, which to me is more valuable than the information itself. I kind of want to have an idea of what people are thinking.
Sure.
So I hit CNN, I hit Fox News, I hit BBC, I hit MSNBC, I hit all of them.
Sky News.
I hit all of them. I look at Newsmax. I look at all of them because I figure if I get a nice blend of the mania from every direction where it comes, somewhere in the middle of that, if I find enough common thread through all of these stories, okay, that's probably going to be true. And I can decipher that.
So I don't want to be completely nihilistic about that opinion.
Go ahead.
But here's the thing. I talk to my dad about this all the time. And my dad, through the years, has become, like left of Bernie. Like we were growing up, probably pretty central. Issues like property taxes and but the older he gets.
Do you think that has to do with his overall disappointment in you?
No. I don't think so, because I can fix that.
There you go. All right, no problem.
He's just become left on some issues so strongly because he kind of feeds into this. Now, a lot of things I will agree with, some I don't. I push back where I don't, because I do try to think independently. But you do start feeding into this. And I always say to him, Dad, you realize that this news company that's giving you the news has no its objective isn't to inform you. Its objective is to make money.
Keep it here.
Keep you watching.
Yeah, keep it here.
Its objective is to make money. Its objective is to make money. All the news you've ever received in your whole life comes from a perspective of a company that pays somebody to make money. So it's in statistics and in math, you see these things, right? In Nicholas Hassim Taleb's Black Swan.
I don't know if I was going to get there.
I wouldn't have got the.
So in the book, The Black Swan, there's this concept, right? All swans were white until there was a black swan. Or 500 days of a chicken's life, 499 days of it, the chicken just sees a farmer feeding it. It assumes after 499 instances that the farmer's its best friend. And the 500th day, it chops its head off, right? So all of these things, we get our
girls
news.
Like that.
We get our news. We get our news. We get our news. You have to, I think, broaden that so far to get what would approximate truth that I'm not sure that by going at a local level, it's ever going to happen. And I don't even mean that from an AP. I think they have these, they try to be as objective as possible. Yeah. But you talk to people that were there versus how the news presented it, even unbiased, and it doesn't necessarily approximate truth. Because again, every time, and consider this, and John, that's to your point, every single time you turn on anything, realize that you are a product, right? That you are consuming a product, that you are the inventory for this company.
You're the data point. That's
you're the data point. You're the inventory. They need you to be consuming their product in order for this to make them money, right? So just at the end of the day, I go, Dad, you realize that this company, its objective is not to present you the truth. Its objective is to give you a message that you're inclined to hear. And the more you're inclined to hear the same message, the more you'll think like that.
Well, again, confirmation bias for me is people spend so much time looking for opportunities to justify their own belief system.
Yes.
Instead of looking for counters to it, instead of looking for other ways, for other things. And it's so interesting with this thing I'm doing this weekend. You've got guys that are coming to this, and it's going to be a flood of the who's who of how to make money in and around real estate. I mean, it's even expanded some of the crypto and NFT stuff now. But you're going to have basically every 15, 20 minutes, a new guy or new gal get on stage and say, this is the way. This is the way. This is the way. This is the way. And every single one of those opinions is going to differ from the guy that was just there, or the girl that's coming on after you. I mean, there's some underlying pinning themes that go there, but overall, you got to look for biases in it. And I think, again, because Kiyosaki's going to be there, I went back and I looked through some of his books and a couple things, and I was like, who would be the counterpoint to a lot of what Kiyosaki does? Like, who would you guess? I selected as the Kiyosaki counterpoint. Who would you guess?
Kiyosaki counterpoint to me would be like, you mean industry specific or just in general?
In general. Whose theories are altered most with his?
It would be like Jim Chanos of Kinnikos Capital. Perma Bear.
I'm talking about somebody that is in the space of telling you what you need to do with your money. That a lot of his opinions hardcore differ. No, I'm not going to say Grant. We're not going to play guessing games anymore. It's Dave Ramsey. Who has a lot of polar opposite views in things than Kiyosaki does. Primarily where they differ in the line in the sand is debt. Dave Ramsey will tell you debt is the devil and you should never be into debt and don't be into debt and this and that and pay for your house with cash and all these other things. And as I read that and I'm thinking, how many people in America take advice from Dave Ramsey and how many people listen to Kiyosaki? Kiyosaki is debt as a weapon. You use debt to buy assets that make more money and use it as a weapon. Now, like a weapon as well, debt has to be handled carefully because it can cut you.
Is that up for debate?
What debt? Yes, Ramsey says debt is.
Know,
oh yeah, Dave
I didn't
Ramsey
know much about Ramsey, but they're at my kids' at school. They really preach Ramsey stuff. I'm like, no
debt,
no
debt.
Real estate leverage.
Oh,
no debt.
What do you mean no debt?
Credit cards.
Buy your house with cash if you can. No credit. Dave Ramsey will come on and say. Dave Ramsey will come on and say,
shocks the hell out of
no credit cards, debit cards only. You only need 2, one for business, one for work. That's a Ramsey.
Okay, if you're the kind of person that is totally unsophisticated when it comes to this stuff.
Well, let's back up.
Paying the house for cash.
Let's back up.
Know where to put it.
Exactly. Let's back up. But the point is, the problem is with financial literacy in this country is there is a line where to the left of it, Dave Ramsey's a good idea.
Okay.
And you hit a point in that line where you go beyond that, where you've got to let those belief systems go and then move into Kiyosaki, those debt. Like if you're flat broke right now and you're got, $12, $15, $20,000 worth of credit card debt,
cut them all up.
Go Dave Ramsey and figure out how to burn it down. I get
Susie
that.
Orman.
I get that. That's fine. Go that route.
Right.
But at some point you're going to have to let go of the debt is the devil. If you ever want to really make money, because you've got to create leverage and you've got to do it through those ways.
Find me one financial analyst that ever said you will actually get booted off a board of a public company if you are not levered enough.
Yeah.
That means you're not using your cash appropriately.
Well, 100, like Dave Ramsey is put it away. Put it away
for what?
That's the thing. No, he starts talking about eventually he gets to a point where he starts talking about investing. He does talk about that. Ramsey's an investor, but it's like investing in mutual funds. Invest in shit like that.
I do believe
he's all safe. He's about as safe as can be.
90% of people plus, and I'll throw that number out there. 95% of people should invest in an ETF and never look at it ever again. Yeah. Put your money in mutual funds with the lowest MERs possible, and then never look at the stock market again until you're 10 days out from retirement, right? And then you realize that compounding interest works and that mutual funds over a period of time outperform all money managers ever, other than like hedge funds. And there's reasons for that. Yeah. But unless you're a high net worth individual that's getting, like Warren Buffett will get issued pipes.
But here's the point of that. Exactly what you're saying is accurate, because the problem is there are steps to financial freedom or wealth that people never get off a step because their belief system is tied to what got them out of debt. The belief system you utilize to get you out of debt is not the belief system you're going to use to make you rich.
To flourish.
Work. Yeah,
well, here's the other thing. I was talking to somebody the other day about bankruptcy. And I can't remember exactly who it was, but I said, you keep over $1 million in bankruptcy. There is a strategic time to use bankruptcy.
Yeah.
Now, again,
if you want guys to come up and ask you crazy questions.
Horrible question. No, but here's the thing. You should take shots. This country's built on taking shots. Take your shots. Every 8 years, you can file a bankruptcy. Let's say you're not doing well. And don't be a piece of shit. Don't steal from people. Work for what you earn. Have a good idea. Work hard or whatever. Yeah. But take a shot, okay? And other people, investors know that, John, you've taken shots that haven't worked out. You've taken shots that haven't worked out. I know that when I put money in a project, that money could be gone, right? I know that, especially when I take equity, and especially if it's debt with something that has no assets, right? So when you understand that, you understand, look, I don't want to ruin people's life. This is what the value of bankruptcy is, that when you have a shot, we want you to take your shot. If you hit, you're the smartest guy on earth, great. The average entrepreneur fails 7 times, plus or minus 2, right? Yeah. So take your shots, use money and leverage when you can, appropriately, responsibly, and that's the only way to make.
But yet so many people, like you,
I've never heard of that.
We go from read Dave Ramsey's book. You go from
shut it off.
We go from, but that's the problem in America, right? We go from no financial literacy to poor man's financial literacy, which is Ramsey, poor man financial literacy, to and people don't bother to take the steps into some things that they see.
Is he like, don't take student loans?
No, he doesn't believe in any debt. No debt. He doesn't want you to have any debt.
Debt free, and he's out there.
He's like, I want to be
trading people to go preach his stuff. Well, it's like look. There's kindergarten teachers, right? You can't take a college professor and tell them go teach kindergartners. They don't know how to react to that. People. Same thing with vice versa. Same thing with someone that's in debt that doesn't understand that. You can't teach them how, hey, go get more debt and you're going to make this much more money. Get to the starting line again, then I'll teach you.
Find me the wealthiest people in any place, industry, city. Ask me one of them if they're just just carry cash.
They're all debt heavy. You have to be.
Well, debt.
Well, okay, for
serviceable debt.
For example, a lot, like one of the things Kiyosaki says is your house is not an asset because it doesn't produce income. Well, you can and again,
store of wealth.
You better be sure to do this. But like with me, I lever the equity in my home through a home equity line of credit.
Sure.
And then I get that at, I guess when I did it was 3.5, whatever it was. And I lever that money on high interest loans that I know I'll get back. So essentially, I'm making 8 points.
It's arbitrage. That's how you
it's
get
100%.
arbitrage.
I know it's 100% arbitrage.
Comprehend
but
that.
But Dave Ramsey would be like, oh, once you get your house paid off, you leave that alone.
For what?
Like you can't. You got to put that. You got to put it back to work.
People are so sensitive about things like my house. Like I don't want to. There's a lot of people, they don't understand what an asset is supposed to do for you.
It's supposed to make an asset makes money. Period. That's it.
Right. And your house is appreciated.
Yeah.
Now again, we had problems in crisis because people don't manage it properly.
Yeah.
Or they over lever. Or they don't understand. Me, I can take leverage out because I have a job that produces income that I can carry swings.
Yeah.
If something happened to me, I could go out and earn enough income to carry
cover
the debt that I have or whatever. Right. I didn't for most of my time in America because I couldn't get debt here.
Right.
Yeah.
I had to live without debt. And it's bullshit.
Yeah.
And I hated it because I had to establish credit here and then slowly work that up. It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst things you can do if you're financially literate because you understand the opportunities that you're foregoing. That on a cash to cash basis, that's the only thing that matters to me.
Especially in real estate, you've got
default risk and a cash to cash basis.
You have to lever. If you don't lever, you're crazy. But anyway, if you want to, obviously, I'm going to put this out today just so you guys can get it. It'll probably come out here in the next couple hours. But last chance today to get tickets to Clever Summit. So if you want to get them virtual tickets today, if you don't, I mean, I can't help you.
People.
But dude, these are some smart. Look, normally I do these events. I will roll in, call it maybe 2 hours before I'm going to be on stage. I do my deal, and then I maybe linger around for a little bit, and then I'm gone.
It's like Sean Penn.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying Sean Penn. It's what I normally do. This event, I will literally be at this event from the very beginning to the very ending, including all of the stuff in between. I'll be there. And I think I'm only on stage for 15 minutes. I think, because there's so many people speaking. It's like, okay, you're all going to do power talks. And it's like, so trying to compress what we're going to say into 15 minutes, it's going to be like a blitzkrieg of information. So I'll be there the whole time because, obviously I'm going to try to bring as much value as I can, but I'm also not egotistical enough to not think that I'm going to get an incredible value myself out of this. That's why I'm doing it. So there you go. Anyway, well, dude, I'm glad to be back. I'm glad you guys are back. We have no more hiatuses on the schedule for the foreseeable future. Colt, you got anything?
Sorry that we left you with the couch episode.
Yeah.
Sorry. Didn't know that's what we left people with.
The Cabo Cobra.
The Cabo Cobra. So there it is. It's not working for me.
It's Bulgarian mongoose.
The Bulgarian mongoose. It might just have to be that way forever. Anyway, we will. Thanks for listening, guys. Do me a favor. Like and subscribe. Every little bit helps. And remember, if you hate what we do here, make sure you tell a friend. But if you like what we do, tell a friend. If you hate it, tell two, because it doesn't matter if you're talking good or bad. What's the matter, Connell?
As long as they're talking about you.
As long as they're talking about you. See you next time.
This episode brought.
Hey, it's John Gafford. If you want to catch up more and see what we're doing, you can always go to thejohngafford.com, where we'll share any links that things we talked about on the show, as well as links to the YouTube where you can watch us live. And if you want to catch up with me on Instagram, you can always follow me at thejohngafford. I'm here. Give me a shout.